here's what it looks like, the finished dish. It looks delicious, doesn't it? And I promise, every time I make this, somebody asks, what are you eating? What smells so good? And I have to tell them about cauliflower nachos. Welcome to At Home with Miss Joan. I'm Miss Joan's daughter, Jordan, and I'm taking over her channel today to show you one of my favorite lunches to make, and it's cauliflower nachos. So all I have done ahead of time is I have taken a head of cauliflower and I have cut it up into the size that you would think like a nacho would be. I did put mine into the microwave for just like 5 to 7 minutes to start getting it a little soft. You can skip that part if you like yours a little bit more crunchy, but I prefer mine a little bit softer for this. And so all I'm going to do is spread out my cauliflower. Remember, that's like our nachos. And I'm going to put some ingredients on it. I'm going to start with some olive oil. So don't have this measured, I just kind of drizzle. I use Himalayan pink salt. You can use regular salt. I just had this, and so I'm using it. Just giving a good shaking of salt on here. And then we've got some spices. We've got chili powder. That's going to give it a good nachos flavor. Just look for it to turn a good reddish color across the board, and I assume that I'm done. Once again, you're just trying to cover this. It's not exact measurements. Then I'm using garlic powder. So same idea. You won't see as much color change from this one. Just trying to make sure you get it everywhere. I also use paprika. So I'm going to cover it now with the red of paprika. And then the last one is cumin. Now, I don't use as much cumin. I find it's a bit of an intense flavor. Now, if you like it, of course, you can use more than I do. I'm a little bit more gentle with my sprinkling of this. This is the flavor that's in like a lot of Indian dishes. So if you like your stuff more intense, that's where the cumin comes from. All right, I kind of mix it up a little bit just to kind of make sure some of that olive oil that's hit the parchment paper is on my nachos. And now all I'm going to do is put these in the oven for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to put them in the oven, and then I'll come back and show you how we top it and make this into nachos. I'll show you how we do the meat topping for the nachos. All I have done is scramble some hamburger meat with some onion. It really helps if you have this already scrambled and some stuff that you do ahead of time, because it will make this dish so much quicker. So now all I'm going to do is add some spices to make this have that good nacho type flavor. Now what you can do for something quick is just to use a taco seasoning mix and pour it in. I'm going to use some of those same spices I used earlier, because if you're trying to eat low carb, then you'll notice that this has something in it called maltodextrin, and a lot of people who are trying to eat low carb, that doesn't work for the low carb lifestyle. Of course, if you don't have to be low carb to enjoy this meal, I'm just giving you that little tip. So you can skip the maltodextrin if you just use your spices. So I'm going to use paprika again. Once again, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to add some more chili powder. And then I'm going to add some onion powder. And some garlic powder. So the only one that's different from earlier is I swapped out the cumin that I had done earlier for onion powder. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt in here also. And then I'm just going to start mixing this together. And like I said, you're just eyeballing it, just wanting your color to change to a little bit of that darker color that you think of if you eat like at a Mexican restaurant or something like that, that kind of flavor. This looks pretty good. So this is going to go on top of my nachos, which I'm going to get out of the oven really soon. Okay, so we're ready to start now putting our cauliflower nachos together. All I've done is taken the cauliflower out of the oven. You see that nice color on there? And I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on this. Now for this dish, you can use any cheese you've got, really. There's not this certain kind you have to have. I happen to have sharp cheddar right here. So I'm just going to coat these with some cheese, and then I'll layer some of my other things and then have cheese on the top also. All right, next, remember the meat that we cooked. It's going to go on here. So I'm going to just kind of sprinkle this meat. So so that every bite will have some. Just think about, what do you like on nachos? If you wanted some loaded nachos, what would you want on them? That's what you put on this dish. I'm not going to put onions on here. Some people might. Some people might put olives on there. So just whatever you would put on your loaded type nachos, that's what you can put on these cauliflower nachos. Next, I love jalapenos, so I'm just going to sprinkle some jalapenos across here. That looks nice. And then I have chopped some bell peppers. You can use whatever colors you have. I had mostly green, a little bit of yellow, red, and orange. And I'm going to do a nice little covering. I think it gives it a good little crunch because the cauliflowers will have softened by now. It's not as crunchy as it was before. So, Colby Jack. And then I'm gonna put a little mozzarella on the top of this, and that will be my nachos. Colby Jack, and then mozzarella. And we're gonna put this back into the oven for about 10 minutes. It's really just to melt the cheese. Everything else is already fully cooked. It's just melting the cheese is all that's needed for our final step. All right, here's what it looks like, the finished dish. It looks delicious, doesn't it? And so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna cut it into 5 servings, and that's what I'm gonna have for lunch this week. Now, this is a great dish to make ahead of time, and then you've got an easy lunch to heat up. I promise, every time I make this, somebody asks, what are you eating? What smells so good? And I have to tell them about cauliflower nachos. Now, think about how you wanna top your nachos. You may wanna eat yours with salsa. I actually eat mine with some barbecue sauce because I love barbecue nachos. And this is a sugar-free barbecue sauce from G. Hughes. And I actually use this so that I can keep this entire dish low carb. There's about 50 carbs in the entire dish. And so if I divide this into 5 servings, that's about 10 carbs. And you would have to, of course, account for any extra sauces and things like that that you put on your dish. So I hope that you enjoyed learning about how to make this low carb dish, cauliflower nachos. It is one of my absolute favorites, and you learned it right here at Home with Miss Joan. Be sure to like and subscribe to my mom's channel, and she'll keep putting out all these great cooking shows for you. Bye, y'all.